So today I'm breaking down a goal setup that I took at 40.30. It's a sell on the 30-minute time frame. It started off with a clean liquidity sweep and then a textbook order block formed. And of course, a retest came in play, giving me the opportunity to get the most fabulous, or what should I say, perfect entry. If you struggle catching high probability setups, this video is for you. I want you to lock in all the way until the end because I've got a gift for you to show you how to catch high probability setups, locking in profits all day, every day. Let's get into it. If you're new to this trading space, I'm Carrie, and this is where I take you from zero to profitability land. So if you want to jump on the profit train with the All Stars, of course, you've got a free Telegram linked down below with the access of getting our free Smart Money Starter Kit. Click on that and be sure to hit that thumbs up and actually like this video so other people can jump on the profit train with us all. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button because it don't cost you nothing. All right, it's time to get on the chart. All stars. So we're literally on the chart and I'm literally just going to be walking you through the exact thought processing I've got step by step in terms of looking for this setup that we caught on gold. So the first thing is always going to be higher time frame bias, right? Now, we're on the 4-hour time frame right here. And one of the fundamental things that we were waiting on, so that's Jeff and we were waiting on price to retest this area here. And I like using my horizontal tools, but in this case, I'll use a little rectangle, okay? And I'll explain why. So gold has shift direction from a week or so now, right? So literally we had this double top formation and you can see that we've been melting. We were kind of stuck in this zone for a bit until we did a proper retest from this break. Because normally once you've got this lovely double top, price normally comes back within this area to do a nice retest. So that kind of made our bias really, really bearish. We were looking for sells basically when we came to the charts on Thursday, right? So we were in our zone, and the beautiful thing about this zone is that it's like exactly how we want it to be, right? So for our confirmation in terms of where we are, this is our level. This was our zone of interest. Price got to that area and literally we are looking for selling opportunity. So when we look, we want to look now to the 1-hour time frame. So we know our zone from the 4-hour based on where price is heading to. It got there. Now we want to be on the 1-hour time frame. And one of the fundamental things that I do here, and I'll zoom in here so that you can see, is I like to look for the Asian highs and lows, right? And literally this would be your high point of Asia, right? And I can put this on so that you can see. I use this just for confirmation to help with this. You can literally see this is our Asian range. Right? So here's the thing that we're looking for. We're in our zone of interest. We've got our higher time frame bias, which is bearish. We're sitting on our hands and we're not buying. We're literally waiting for selling opportunity. Now, what are we waiting for? We're waiting for liquidity to be swept above Tokyo's high. So we want to see London take out the liquidity above this area, right? And then we want to look for that change of character. We want to look for that shift in direction, right? So we know that this will be our entry trigger, and we're looking for that even on the 1-hour time frame. So we've got our highs and our lows of the Asian range right here where Tokyo has made. We know this is it. So what we're actually looking for is a push up because we're in our zone of interest, right? So first you've got to know where you are. Where is price right now? What could potentially happen there? So we were in that sweet spot where we needed to be. And the only other thing that we're now waiting for is that entry trigger, right? To be able to navigate through this trade. So we are looking for that actual push up from London, right? And you know, London will play a bit and kind of stay in a range until it will do the push up, right? But notice this bit right here, right? What we noticed, because we were on the charts at this time, this was midday UK time. What we noticed is that we've pushed up, and as soon as we've pushed up to grab the liquidity above the Asian range, it's created a lovely volume, momentum-based candle. And what we noticed, it rejected off our karma and it kind of pushed back up. So now we say, okay, let's go down to the 30-minute time frame because our entries will always be on our 30-minute time frame. All right. Now, once we saw this, what we did, we dropped the signal in our live trading community because we did not go live on that day. So we dropped the signal in the live trading community, and I'll put all the details here, right? And what happened is that our range was now between 42.30 and 42.35 for them to take the entry on the trade. So we sent that zone in along with the targets that we were aiming to get to. And in that case, we're actually aiming to get back to 4,000. At the time, we're aiming to get back to 4,190, right? And a little bit further, I do believe. But we wanted to see how price was actually reacting to our zones. So one of the fundamental things is what was happening here and how price kind of pulled back. So we kind of were zoning in on it. And what we did was to put limit orders at the range, in the middle of the range at around 30. Some people put their sell limit at 30, 42.30, and some had it placed at 42.35, right? But that was our range in terms of our entry trigger because of the fact that we've got the liquidity sweep, which is our entry queue, and then we've got the full change here that came in showing you that smart money is about to step in. They gave you the hint, and of course what they did was to pull that candle back, and I can pull this back just to show you, right, the whole idea of the motion here, right? I want you to see this. This candle on the 30-minute time frame was a lovely bearish candle. Came all the way down here at 42.20, and then it pulled back and it came for us, showing us again the intention that's there. And of course, right here at 42.32, we got into this trade because we've seen this play before, right? We've seen it before. Everything lines up. We've got our higher time frame bias. We're in our zone of interest. We have confirmed that liquidity grab, which is our structure, right? Remember, SMC, 3-step framework, structure, right? Which encompass our zone of interest and our higher time frame bias. And of course, our manipulation took place, which is the liquidity sweep, and then our entry trigger, which is the formation of the lovely change of character that we got here, and then the pullback retesting of these candles. So beautiful. And I'm telling you, the entry here was so amazing in terms of how quick we acted, right, on getting in to the trade based on what we saw. So of course, we got that short position, and if you know anything about us, our stop loss is not going to be too far. So our stop loss was just a little bit there, and of course we were aiming to get all the way down, right? But we wanted to see how price was actually reacting, so we were playing it based on how we're moving until we got to the lower levels, right? So ideally speaking, this was the entry on our setup. And for us, especially for me, I prefer the higher time frame. I do not like too much noise. I like clarity. And I find that my entries on the 30-minute time frame are absolutely incredible. So I stick to the 30-minute for entries. Okay. So higher time frame for analysis, zone of interest, marking up those zones, and then of course I'll come, once I see what I'm looking for, I'll come to the 30 minutes to execute, right? So one of the lovely things is me showing you the entire walkthrough of this, what we saw on the charts and the levels that we've got, and basically our reason for entry, right? The liquidity sweep took place. Price literally showed us the entire smart money footprint with this engulfing candle that came all the way down here. And then the pullback, even though that's a wick, we can see the intention. So you have to understand what intention really is, because some people will see this and buy. A lot of people saw these two wick rejections and they probably bought because of the fact that we broke out before. But this was literally a textbook setup, smart money concepts, like real textbook. So ideally speaking, right, we would have taken this setup and you would have seen how price is playing out, right? It played out beautifully and smashed the majority of our TPs. I think it smashed all of them, to be honest. But what we noticed was the fact that we broke zones and we were continuing. So of course, with our attitude, we would have instructed that we're going to hold this thing, because what will happen is that our next zone is ideally going to be 40.98, right? And I'll put a little line there to show you for us to get to. And then if we break through that, then our longer one would literally be about 40.36, right? And where do we get these zones from? Our zones are always taken from our higher time frame, right? So if I go back 4 hours, right, and I look at this with you, we're looking at the fact that we had all of this here, right? Price has broke off. There's a lot of imbalance in the market. So where could we potentially get to if we break here? We could now get to 40.36 was our next level, right? Right around 40.36 was our next level that we were anticipating that price could potentially get into. It could get a little lower, even right at this area, 40.25, but we were really aiming for 40.36 if everything plays out. So this was our full move that we were looking for, right? Full move, because of all that we are seeing from the 4-hour time frame. This is 4-hour. Our analysis is done on the 4-hour. Our zones are marked on the 4-hour, and that gives us a clearer perspective as to where price could potentially go, right, if the zones are taken out. So with that said, you know, we go back to our 30-minute time frame where the execution takes place. We want to see all of this taken out, all of Asia's low taken out, and we want to see price pulling back into it. That will give us more confidence to hold the trade. So we want to see a break below here and a continuation in terms of a pullback, retesting the low of the Asian range, and then continuing, right? So ideally speaking, we were waiting for all of that to take place. And one thing that we don't do, we are not panicking. We've got experience in this. We just want to see price action do what we know it's potentially wanting to do, right? So now we've got the full break and it's pulled back into the zone, as you can clearly see. That's plausible confirmation right here in the zone with the pullback here that we can literally ride the wave further down, right? This is how you do it, right? You literally want to see price looking at the zones. We just don't want it to break this level, because this is our next level here, and you'd hold the trade. So I'll pause it there and I'll show you here. You see right here where this little zone was that becomes a new zone. Why? There was a pullback there, and as long as price is respecting this, we're good to go. You can literally see that our karma is maintaining everything here, giving us the allowance to hold the trade. One of the main reasons why we always have our karma on, it gives us that allowance to say, you know what, hold this trade, we're still bearish, right? We want to see the rejection of the karma and the continuation, which was lovely here. Absolutely lovely, bringing us all the way to 4145. Pulling back into this zone is necessary. It's just how price is. Now, you don't have to do this like how we do, and we take money off the table and allow like even a small lot to be in it, just so if we're correct, we can hold it further. You don't have to do that. But just showing you the walkthrough here so that you can literally understand the thought processing of how to really catch good risk to reward. So, literally speaking, price would have pulled back in here. And guys, I want to say this. We literally would have shared this on our TikTok live as well. Literally on our TikTok live. We were on the live when the pullback happened and we said price is going to continue going down. A lot of people would have caught that move even from our TikTok live. So I want you to really see what we're looking at here. As long as price is respecting our zones, we always wait on the candles to close. Even if we're in the 30-minute time frame, we want to see plausible candle closures. So this one closed, and then of course you can see this one looking at how it is here. And I'll take this off so that you can see as well as this zone. All right, you can literally see that we came back into here, kind of pushed up a bit, but what we did was to bring price back in. And that's why you see these color candles, you can't allow them to fool you. Wait and pay attention to price action. Patience pays. And I'm telling you this because I've learned like that patience is your best friend in this trading game. If you want to make good money, patience is necessary. So looking at this, everything looked plausible. We said, you know what, let's leave that on the table and we'll allow it to play out until we get to 4036. Members in our community were still holding after, price hit our zones. We were still holding because of the belief system that we had. And it's not just the belief system, it's based on what structure was showing as well, right? Because one of the things we love doing is going off data. SMC, yes, but we go off data, meaning the candlesticks. That's the language of the markets. And of course, you can see where price broke through, pull back in, wick rejection right here off the karma. That's telling you we're gonna bingo again, right? And of course, we stayed the course, and you're gonna see how beautifully this setup played out. I'm telling you, 12% on a 1% risk is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, right? So our sales were still going, and we want to see price respecting the levels. We want to see the karma following and flowing with price as we trail, and you can see that it's, oh my god, going directly where we want it to go. Right, you see that? And directly where we want it to go, and price is continuing to flow even into that karma. Beautiful. You're seeing it literally here, and it continues and goes directly to our area where we wanted it to get to. And of course, we got out. So one of the fundamental things that you have to understand is market structure. Market structure is always going to be the number one thing that I recommend for everybody. So structure first, wait for smart money manipulation second, and then wait for your confirmation, right? Your order blocks will be formed, price will pull back into these zones, price will show you its clear intention, and it will correct itself. And then of course, giving you the opportunity to get in. Now, not everybody will get in here. There are some people who waited on price to break here, and then they got in here. That's fine. Or entry was just early because of experience, right? But the more experienced you are, you're able to actually get in on these trades even at nicer entry points and hold it longer, right? Because ideally what's happening is that potentially even right now, price will come back into this zone, and I'll mark it, and it will sell, drop further. Price must pull back. It must. Retracement is a core part of the game, right? So you'll see that price will come back into here, and we just want it to be respecting this zone, and we'll hold it further. As long as it's respecting these zones that we highlight, we hold it, right? And that's how you maximize on making substantial profits within the financial markets. This is just an immaculate setup. And one thing that I'm absolutely grateful for is the fact that the entire team ate from this as well. It's not just me and Jeff in a corner, but we share trade ideas and the team ate. And one of the most beautiful things that I want to share with you guys, this individual took the trades on 0.01. So TP, all the TPs, I think there were quite a few TPs, would have smashed, and they were holding that trade with the open TP. Right, they were holding that trade on 0.01, and a lot of times people think that they can't make any money on 0.01. You know, start from where you are. If you've got like limited capital, there's nothing wrong with 0.01. It's the smallest lot size, yes, but at the end of the day, if you're taking proper risk to reward ratio trades, you will make profits on that money. And I'm telling you, understand that it's not about over leveraging, it's not about over trading, it's about finding your edge in the market to get you proper risk to reward set up so that you can make money, right? The whole idea of this is to understand where to get in, where to target, how to pay attention to price action so that you're not in there longer than you should be, and you get out when you should get out. Right, so ideally speaking, would have locked in profits from 40.36 here all the way from 43.30 all the way down here. I'm telling you, trading can be such a beautiful skill if you learn how to read the language of the candles. And if you want our help, the free smart money concept starter pack is linked in the description, and it is connected to our free Telegram. So if you want to join our free community, it's actually there for you. I don't think there's anything that I would change on this except for not letting go of the entire trade, but we've closed out fully when price got to 40.36. I think that's the only thing that I would have changed. I think the entry was right on point at 40.30. It was right on point there, and the entry was so immaculate and taking price all the way down here. I mean, over time, you'll develop your patience in this game. And I think right now my patience is at a heightened level on my journey where I'm now understanding how to really make money being patient, right? One time it would have been scalping and taking quick profits and over trading, over leveraging. But now I understand that this is a business and you ought to treat it like a business and understand price action. Read into the data that is here. The candles are showing you what they do. Pay attention to it. Use the data to allow you to lock in profits on this journey. So remember, higher time frame bias is always better than lower time frame bias. That's my personal bias. You can basically have your own, but I'm just saying what works for us is the higher time frame bias. And then of course, having that whole idea of structure, locking in structure, creating our zones of interest, waiting on price to get to our zone, waiting on our liquidity sweep, right, above or below, depending on the setup, and literally having those solid order blocks being formed. Now, sometimes you can even have fair value gaps that price will fall back into, but in this case, you would literally see that we just had a lovely order block being formed and price pulled back into it, giving us the allowance to enter. We got in and we made a bag. Literally, I'm just sharing this setup with you, the whole mindset through it, and even through holding the trade. You just want to pay attention to structure. And one thing that helps me to pay attention to clean structure is the higher time frame. I do not go lower than the 30-minute. No, my husband sometimes wants to go 15-minute. That's on him. But for me, the 30-minute gives me solid candles that I can work with to know direction clearer and to be able to have that longer play out of profits locked in on this journey. I mean, there are individuals in our inner circle who are actually making profits starting from little, starting from 70, turning 17 to 400 in not a long space of time. So risk to reward is your main focus in this game. I think this is our major edge in patience, learning how to allow the trade to play out. Taking money off the table is very important because there's nothing guaranteed. So, of course, you're going to be locking in the money, but at the same time, pay attention to price action so you don't let go the perfect entry to go find another entry that's not so perfect, right? So, lovely, lovely play out. And I hope you got some value from me showing this to you, the step-by-step walkthrough, and showing you that, listen, our community is having a ball with setups like these. This is immaculate risk to reward ratio trade. And this is something that you can literally use to grow small accounts. So remember, free starter pack linked in the description, as well as our free Telegram. Register for that and we'll see you on the inside. Remember to put God first in everything you do, because if he's in it, without a doubt, you must win it. I hope you got some value from me showing this to you and you can go implement and go make profits, because guess what? This journey is for all of us. And we literally here at All Stars Trading, we want to see you win. We want you to win because we can all win together, right? So it's all about winning together. So lock in and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye. Love you all.